William Tyndale was a man of words. He knew words held the power to change the world. But 16th century England did not want Tyndale to make the words available to the people, because William Tyndale was also a man of God. The Bible was not available in English. The king and church in their elite state did not want the common man to have that sort of knowledge and power. So the Bible had remained untranslated. It would make him an outlaw, but William Tyndale made it his mission to make the Bible available to every English man, woman, and child in his own language. Facing severe punishment in England, he escaped to Germany, where he translated the New Testament and most of the Old into English secretly. He then printed pocket-sized versions that could be easily hidden and began to have them smuggled into his own country at the risk of his own life. Enraged by the situation, Henry VIII vowed to have Tyndale hunted down and imprisoned, but none of the king's men were able to find him. Tyndale's smuggled translations were ruthlessly sought out, confiscated, and destroyed. It was a friend of William's who eventually betrayed his secret location and had him arrested to the castle of Vilvoorden. There, he was held captive for over 500 days of terrible conditions. He was tried for heresy and treason in a ridiculously unfair trial and convicted. Outside Brussels in 1536, he was strangled to death and burned at the stake. His last words were, "Lord, open the King of England's eyes." His prayer was answered 3 years later, when Henry VIII saw the light and published England's Great Bible in 1539. William Tyndale's legacy lives on to this day. It was his fight that brought the Word of God to the common people. His commitment to run to the battle made the Bible available for all who believe. So, William Tyndale, how many thank God for guys like William Tyndale to help you get the Bible in your own language? So watch this. If William Tyndale was killed for his efforts to get the Bible in English, he paid the ultimate sacrifice so that we can have the Bible in our language. Why would we sit like this in front of the world and let the world paint a picture on our mind of what normal life should be like? Why would we allow his sacrifice to go in vain? Some of you have struggled in your Christianity for a long time. You didn't realize that God doesn't just want your heart, he wants your mind. And if you don't walk out of here as a soldier, as a warrior, determined to give God your mind share, boom, you'll be a casualty. It's just guaranteed. So I want you to close your eyes with me. And I want you to think about maybe what you have been letting into your mind. Think about whether it's the media you've been watching, the stuff that you've been looking at, stuff you've been reading, maybe books or magazines. Maybe it's the music you've been listening to. I want you to think about it. How much mindshare have you really given to the Lord? Some of you here have been so manipulated by the enemy, you didn't even realize it. You just thought, well, this is part of a normal teenager's life. I just watch this stuff and listen to this stuff. You didn't realize the enemy was using it to program you and to pull you away from God. Make you more vulnerable to temptation. Some of you, maybe you have been listening to that voice. It's your fault. You did it. Maybe the way the enemy's been programming you is by blaming you for maybe your parents' divorce. Or maybe you have felt so horrible of some failure that you've had in your life. And God totally forgave you, but you have not forgiven yourself. And the enemy just reminds you of that again and again. It just rubs your face in your past. And you'd like to say, you know, I'm a warrior for God and everything. But every time you try to live strong, the enemy just boom, reminds you of some horrible mistake you made. It's time to quit listening to that voice. That whisper that says you're never going to get over this thing. You're always going to be a failure in this area. Some of the video clips that you saw going on this morning, maybe those are the kind of video clips you've had in your mind, full of fear or full of anger. You're so mad because of what somebody did to you, and it's totally controlled your life. Maybe you were abused in some way. Maybe you were taken advantage of in some way, and it stirred up anger, and the enemy has controlled your life by constantly reminding you of that and inciting you to hatred. And you've given him mindshare without knowing it. Thinking about that, stewing on that, listen this morning, before we go any farther in this day, we need to do something about this. If you've been listening to that whisper, whatever that whisper might be, and if you feel like it's controlling you, it's throwing up the ugliness of your past, or it's making you feel responsible for every bad thing that's ever happened to you or your family, you need to let go of that this morning. Let Jesus wash you and say, you know, I've forgiven you for that. It was never your fault to begin with, whatever the case might be. Come on, your eyes are closed. I want you to just lift your hand if that's you. You've been listening to that whisper that has just rubbed your face in your past or failures that have happened in your life, and it's your fault. And you feel like, I'm tired of letting the enemy manipulate me like this. Let me see your hand. Lift it up real high. Okay, we need to do something about this. You're tired of letting him program your mind like that, trying to reinterpret your life or your past to you. I want you lifted your hand. I want you to jump up out of your seat quickly. I want you to make your way down. We're going to pray together. It's been good. It's been praised. Countless times throughout time, it's been said 1,000 ways by children and kings, poets and priests. I'd like to say it again. Let me say it once again. I love you, Lord. I just want to say I love you, Lord. As simple as it sounds, in you my heart is full.